Welcome back. Now let's take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the papers. We're going to be taking a quick look, and Mike is here in the studio with me. Yay. All right, so let's see what we have on the cover of the Vanguard, shall we? Yes, it says here, of course, today is Friday, June 16th. It says here, Tinubu to NEC. No excuse for failure. No excuse for failure. It says... a little further, NEC considers payment of 703 billion naira to workers as palliative for subsidy removal. Mulls legislative financial support for vehicle manufacturers to approach World Bank for loan. Daily fuel consumption drops from 66 million to 41 million. Mike, I kind of expected that issue with fuel to drop, the consumption of fuel to drop. I feel like a lot of people are not taking their cars out anymore. You know, people are carpooling more. I think people are walking a lot more as well. Definitely. I don't know if you've noticed.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely that one we know that was going to come. I just want to mention, of course, the major headline there where Tinubu to NEC says no excuse for failure. He also gave a message to the governors and said, look, we took a tough job. I like the disposition that is being, that the administration is looking at, what's knowing that, look, we are at the precipice. And look, we have to go up. We are at the balance there, and anything lower than this is going to be a problem. You know, so I like that disposition. I like that, you know, that front from the administration, and we're looking at it. And it's not just about hope, but we are seeing that some things are being put in place, and these things should, all things being in place, bring the desired results that we have in our economy. I mean, there's a talk here, of course, about the floating of the dollar, and now. It makes sense that we have a unified exchange rate.
It's a floating naira, but...
Floating naira, pardon me. It makes sense that we have a unified exchange rate because now the market will determine. And I know it will take some time. We'll get a financial analyst and talk about the econometrics behind it. But then you have to understand that, look, a lot of things are going to be, a lot of loopholes are going to be taken out. Now people can be competitive, and that's the thing that happens whenever the market is open. Competition. And competition will bring better prices, and things would actually... settle. We expect that it will balance naira. The official rate, like it came, the official rate was about 460, and then of course the black market was over 750, and about that. Now it's about the middle, 600 or so. It will balance out itself in time as market forces play on it.
There is also another byline here. It says here, TUC to federal government, watch out for forex speculators. Because, you know, speculation in the market now, it makes things a little difficult for people to make plans
for the next
quarter.
Speculation is part of it. I mean, look at what happened when the president was sworn in. Speculative indexes was what made the boost in the stock market. Because people speculated that, okay, there's a new president coming in. He is somebody that financially, I mean, he
has a background in finance.
Yes, he worked as an accountant at a multinational. You understand? So you expect that but when it comes to the finance, that something will happen. So it was speculation that led the stock markets to move on a bearish run at that particular time. You see? So as much as there's speculation there, watch out for it, yes, but it is part of the market. It determines the market most of the times ahead. You know, so, but yeah, you can't just put all on speculation, as it were, and I probably think that's what they are talking about here. We're talking about watching out for speculative indexes.
We also have the Punch newspaper with us this morning, and the headline here says, APC bigwigs jostle for ministerial slots. Tinubu names 8 special advisors. Party chieftains favor Keyamo, Omo Agege, Fayemi Adeyeye, Ganduje, Marafa, and others. Edun appointed special advisor on monetary affairs. Alake gets communication. Ribadu handles security. Now, I did notice on social media, I'm talking Twitter now, that there was a little shift in opinion as from before with regards the picks. There were people making reference to the ages of the people that had been picked by the president, and also making their own speculations as to where the president is going with his selections. Now, there are still a lot of other slots yet to be filled, and everyone is wondering what next.
One person was a special advisor for energy.
Yeah.
She was trending on.
Yes.
Although with over 20 years experience in the energy industry, she looks a very young person. For me, age is not just a number, but then for me, it's about competence.
Yeah.
Whether you're old or whether you're young, whichever way you look at it, age, competence for me before you even think about age. If you're competent enough, no matter how old or how young you are, you can go ahead to do the job.
She was actually present at an event where she was asked advice on energy. This was about 2 years ago. And it was really interesting that we see her name on the list as at today. It also says here, okay, there's still quite a few other headlines on the cover of the Punch, but let's switch to another paper now. It says here on the Nigerian Tribune, poor economy, we asked for a tough job, we can't complain, Tinubu tells governors. NEC moves to provide palliatives for workers, vulnerable groups. Federal government to seek World Bank funds to implement CNG. Rising food prices push inflation rate to 22.4%, according to the Bureau of Statistics. And it also says here why IGP sealed 17 local secretariats in Plateau, and governor calls for calm. We also still have the photos of the appointed special advisors here, Ribadu Alake Edun Adedeji and 4 others as special advisors there. We also have alleged sale of government property. ICPC arraigns Ojeride Sons, daughter-in-law in fresh suit.
So yeah, there are 2 headlines here. I'd want to just look at in tandem. Of course, major headline, we asked for a tough job, we can't complain, as I mentioned it earlier. And then, of course, rising food prices push inflation rate to 22.4%. That is really high. That is really very high. But then, of course, that has to do with subsidy removal.
Sure.
And, you know, but we see the palliatives for me, I know we had spoken about, when they spoke about sharing money to the indigent poor and all of that, which I feel is not the best thing to do. If we can sort out things like power, and then we can sort out things like road network and transportation, those ones, Lagos State government is doing quite a lot. And then we also had news of the market as well come together to donate 100 buses. We can sort out transportation, and then we can sort out power. I know that for the past week or so, power has been quite good. It fell off maybe 2-3 days ago. But if that one is sorted out, the reliance on PMS will reduce.
Definitely.
Because that's it. Diesel, of course, had always been at that price. But it's the reliance on PMS as an economy that has made this, that is pushing this inflation at this particular period in time. So the palliatives can come in restructuring and ensuring that infrastructure, especially in power. I told somebody that we cannot push as much power as we need because the infrastructure for the power has not yet or can't carry as much as is required. So we need to work on the infrastructure for power. And I hope that this time around, when states can generate their own power and all of that, this can be sorted out.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that food prices are also dependent on how the food gets to the people. For instance, there were some cases last year where we heard of food spoiling in the north because there were just not enough vehicles to get the food down to where it needed to be. And of course, when rising fuel prices are also involved, it takes it even further. We'll definitely be following up on these stories. We will be giving you updates and, of course, following up with the news bulletin later on. We're going to be heading over to Winnie in the kitchen.